Now, what are these 3 10s? Now, number 1, the first 10 is they must love your product. Your product. They must love your product. In other words, imagine, let's say I'm an insurance broker. I'm selling business or commercial insurance. Let's say I present you with some type of new coverage, and after I'm done, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, Jordan, it sounds like a pretty decent program. Now, if that's your tone of voice, your level of certainty, are you going to buy from me? Probably not, right? In other words, people don't buy when they're in that state. They buy when they're like, oh my God, yeah, no, it sounds great. That's amazing coverage. Ooh, really, really great. You get it? They buy when they love your product. And the same thing goes if it's the intangible. Let's say I share my vision for the future with you, and you're like, oh my God, Jordan, that sounds great. I'm so inspired. And if that's your level of certainty, then I have an excellent shot of closing you on my vision, meaning to get you involved to help you actually achieve my vision, which means buying into it with your time, your money, whatever else it takes. But if you were like, oh, yeah, you know, your vision sounds okay, Jordan, and your tone of voice was someone like who's about to fall asleep, am I going to close you then? No, probably not. So in essence, the first 10 is about the actual product you're selling. And in the beginning, what's typically happening is that they're simply not at a 10, meaning they're not absolutely certain that it's the best thing since sliced bread. Now, they might not be at a 1, which is the absolute uncertain state, as if it's the worst product in the whole entire world, right? They're usually somewhere in between at maybe a 4 or a 5, which sounds like, yeah, it's okay, I don't know. It's like they're, 50-50 on your product. They're not going to be like, ugh, it's terrible. Typically like, yeah, it sounds okay. Okay, but they're not really sure whether it's superior to the competitions. They don't give you that, yeah, wow, it's just unbelievably great, right? So what your goal here is, as a salesperson using the straight line, is you want to move them down the line, and you're trying to raise them up from wherever they are to a 10 for product, to that level of absolute certainty about whatever it is you're offering them. Make sense? So I want you to understand here again that this is our goal, which is to get them to a 10, meaning they're absolutely certain your product or your service or your idea is just undamn believable. The cliche I always use, it's the best thing since sliced bread. They absolutely, positively love your product. They're like, damn, that stock's going up if you're a stockbroker. Or, man, that manager's got a hell of a great track record if you're a hedge fund manager. Ooh, damn, I'm not buying that car from this guy if you're a car salesman, but ooh, boy, what a beautiful car he's trying to sell me. What great insurance coverage that is. You understand what I'm getting at here? Ooh, I'm not buying it now, but boy, what a great product it is. See, that's that level of absolute certainty that you want to get someone to about your product. And interestingly enough, I'll tell you that when I go into corporations where I've trained salesmen all over the world, at huge companies like Microsoft and Virgin and Goldman Sachs, to these little mom and pop service businesses around the whole world. And when I walk in there and listen to the salesman, I'm absolutely appalled 99% of the time. I mean, they're trying to close people who aren't even convinced that their product is great. They're trying to hype them into a close, not convincing them that the product itself is amazing. This is the first thing you got to do, both logically and then emotionally. Now, how we actually do that, I'll get to a bit later, but I want you to understand that this is your goal. As you move someone down the straight line, it's your first 10. You want to get them to a 10 logically, a 10 emotionally, and it's on your product. Make sense?